Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to just show you a little bit about how we reinforce English language arts in our homeschool. You can do this in your homeschool. You can do this if your students or if your child is enrolled in school full time and you want to provide a little bit more of enrichment at home, after school, on the weekends, or whenever. But today we're going to focus on grammar to include reading fluency and some other areas of English language arts. So let's dive right in. You may have seen this in some of my other videos, but this here is a quick bingo game that goes over the parts of speech. My son really enjoys this game. I got this off of Amazon, and I don't remember how much it cost, but I will put it somewhere on the screen during this video. But basically what they're doing is they are taking their little, bingo pieces here, and they're going to get a card. There are quite a few cards that comes with this game here, okay? And the cards just goes over the various parts of speech, like verbs, adverbs, conjunction, preposition, adjective, interjections, nouns, pronouns, and so forth. So it's your basic parts of speech. So what they'll do, they'll get a game piece, and then what you will do is you can utilize these sentences that comes with the game board, or you can create your own sentences. So, as an example, for the adverb here, I will say, for the interjection here, I will say, wow, did you see the size of that fish? Wow. What part of speech is wow? And then he will look for interjection. And there should be more than one part of speech on the game board. So I'll choose this spot here. And then I'll say, she looked everywhere, everywhere. What is everywhere in that sentence? And he'll say adverb. And then he'll go ahead and he'll look for adverb on his game board, and I'll put it there. So the whole point of the game is like regular bingo. We want to get, in this instance, 5 across. We want to get 5 down, and you are allowed to go diagonally. Okay, so this game is really, really cool. We'll go ahead and we'll play this game, right after I'm done teaching about a specific part of speech. We went ahead and we played that game for that specific part of speech. And then once, we got 2 parts of speech down, and 3 and 4 and 5 and so forth, we played this game to reinforce. Okay, my son, 5th grade, found this game very, very easy. So I would say it says ages 9 and up, which is normally like 4th grade and up. But you can really do this with 1st grade and up, depending on, when you are teaching them the parts of speech, or when they're learning the parts of speech in school, if they are enrolled in public, charter, or private school. Okay. In this bin here, I keep all of our flashcards as it relates to language arts. Okay. So this here is called wordplay. And I got this from a homeschool convention. And let's open that up and see what that's about. And this organizer here, I got from Michael's. Again, I got this from Michael's, and I got it on sale, I want to say under $10 maybe. Normally with my organizational tools that I use within our homeschool, I definitely wait until I see coupons for Michael's. They always have 20% off everything, including sales, or sometimes they'll just give you a straight 20% off. And sometimes you can find some 50% off coupons. Download the Michael's app and you can go from there. So, wordplay. This game, wordplay, we haven't even played this game yet. Yeah, we haven't played this game yet. So, basically each card, it's like Scrabble, okay? There is a letter on each card, and then you will play the game in effort to put words together to create a word, or put letters together, to create a word. Okay. So this is really, really good for vocabulary. Let's keep going. This here are your basic flashcards. So this can definitely be used, for all ages. I got these flashcards from the dollar store. So if you're teaching your children, spelling, or if you're teaching your children vocabulary, you can get those words from list. You can get those words from literature that you're reading. You can get those words from conversations that you're having, movies that you're watching. You can get your word list for spelling and vocabulary, basically anywhere. You don't have to use these long, drawn out lists of words that are provided in curriculum or that are only provided, if you're in school, if your children are in school, the words that are provided by the teachers, you don't only have to use those words, guys. Absolutely use words that are used in your everyday life, or words that are used in the books that your children read or the books that you read to your children in order to create spelling and vocabulary lists. I purchased this from Super Duper Publications. I really like Super Duper Publications. If your children, are needing any type of resource for any particular reason, whether or not they have, a concern. And when I say concern, I may mean, if they are in speech therapy, or if, they have sensory processing disorder, or if they have, anything that is of concern to you, if you find that their memory is short, Super Duper Publications is an awesome resource to use in effort to find resources that you can bring within your homeschool, or resources that you can utilize after school or during the summer, or on the weekends for those parents who have their children enrolled in school full time. You can say, okay, look at this picture. Tell me what's going on in this picture. Tell me a story. So they'll look at the picture and you'll talk to them. You'll say, okay, the child is sitting, sitting on a table. That's a doctor. The doctor's checking the little girl's eye. Okay, this little girl must be at the doctor's office and she's having a checkup, right? So let's read the story. So then you'll read the story to the child and you guys will determine whether or not they were correct in their interpretation of the picture. This here is basically looking at this picture and having your child explain what's going on in the picture and to give you a quick little story. And then what you'll do is you can read this to the child and you can let them know whether or not it was, right. Another way you can use this for those kids who are, maybe third grade and up or second grade and up, you can forego looking at the picture and you can read the story to them. And then you can tell them, based on what I said, narrate what you just heard in the order in which you heard it, right? So you'll read the story to them and then you'll say, narrate what you heard. And the word narrate just means to repeat, regurgitate what you just heard, okay? Or what you just read yourself. And they'll do just that. And you're just helping them, understand the importance of remembering what they heard, comprehending what they heard, and then retelling that information back to you or narrating what was said in order. This here is auditory memory. And this is really, really good. And auditory memory basically means, can you remember what you heard? Just like with the first one, story retell. But this one is, can you remember what you heard? So in this instance, you will, here it says, tell a story about your vacation. Who, what, when, where, why. So you are telling the child a story about your vacation, right? And then you're going to ask them, who was the story about? What was it about? What took place? Why did this happen? When did this happen? Where did this happen? And here it tells you, tell a story about your vacation. Next one here, it says, tell a story about a pet. Okay, so you are telling this to your child and they are going to listen, comprehend, and they're going to answer the question. So this is really good for reading comprehension. Another example of how you can play this game is, here it says Jack in the Jungle. Okay, you turn it around. I'm sorry for the focus, guys. And it says, Jack in the Jungle. Jack went on a jungle safari in Africa. In the jungle, he saw monkeys, snakes, elephants, and leopards. Who went on the trip? Where did Jack go? What did he see in the jungle? So this is really, really good, again, for auditory memory. Can the child hear a story? Can the child understand what was heard? And can the child narrate or retell or comprehend what the information was all about? So this is really, really good for that. Definitely for beginners, I would definitely say this is really, really good for, kindergarten through like the second grade. Okay. This one here is just oxymorons. Here we have some homonyms, homographs, double negatives, the difference between saw and seen. And here is another auditory memory. So as you can see, I have a lot of auditory memory stuff for retelling or comprehension. And that's because when I started using these decks with my son in the 3rd grade, I noticed that was a concern of mine. He was not able to quickly retell or narrate what he just heard. And these absolutely helped. Okay. You don't need these cards, guys, in order to do this type of skill. You can get a book, get any book your child is reading or any book you're reading to your child, right? Choose a paragraph. Read that paragraph out loud, you know, maybe 3 to 5 sentences, and then ask them the questions. So you can do it that way. But I like the deck of cards because it makes it fun for the child. You know, they get to flip through the card. You know, I'll tell them to close his eyes and pick a card. You know, it just makes it a little bit more fun because it's in, you know, card format. This one here is another one called Auditory Memory, WH questions. From this deck. And WH questions are like your who, what, when, where, why. So similarly to the other cards, you know, for a younger student, kindergarten through 1st, I would probably say, again, look at the picture, tell me what you see, what's going on. And then they will interpret the picture. So like picture study, right? As they get older, or in addition to that, again, you will read the story to them, and then you will ask them the questions. I'm sorry again for this is not focusing. But the first question says, who cuts Hank's hair? What did Bud do in Hank's hair or to Hank's hair, and so forth? Okay. Another way you can play this card as they get older, maybe 2nd grade, 3rd grade, is again, you can read it to them, ask them the questions. And then what you can do is say, now that I've read it and we've answered these questions, you know, put this card back in the deck, continue playing the card. Bring this card back in and say, now you read it. And then they will read the card to you, and then you'll take the card back. So now they are reading, so visual learners, they're reading it for themselves, and then you ask them the questions. So you can do this for auditory, hear, narrate, answer the questions, or for visual learners, you can have them read the story, take the card away, and then have them narrate. And for younger kids, you can read the story, show them the picture. So, you know, they're on the opposite side. You're showing them the picture, you're reading the story, and then you can ask them the questions, but they get to see the picture as you're asking the questions. So there's several ways that you can play this game. These other little decks here are just things that I got off of Teacher Pay Teacher. You know, this explains the author's purpose. One of them is on theme, main idea. So these are just reading comprehension printouts that I got from Teacher Pay Teacher. So guys, I hope this video was a benefit. I hope you found something useful. The whole point is to basically, you know, help your students, you know, whether or not your students or kiddos, you know, your kids, sorry, I keep saying students, whether or not your kids are enrolled in school full time, or you are at home with them, homeschooling them, you know, you can find something for enrichment. You can find something to help your student better understand whatever concepts they're not understanding. You know, it's our job, moms and dads and caregivers, to help our children. Our children, you know, although they go to school, we're not just going to, you know, leave the sole responsibility for those that have kids in traditional school on the teachers. If you know your child is having an issue or a problem, or they have not mastered a skill, it's your, you know, responsibility to be resourceful and to be, you know, creative and to get involved. Again, if your kids are in school full time or in traditional school, it's your responsibility, in my humble opinion, to participate. Okay, you are your child's best teacher. And for those who homeschool, you know, we're always teaching. We're on teaching mode 24/7. So again, these are just some ideas that you can utilize in the area of English language arts to help your children master narration, parts of speech, grammar, reading comprehension, and using their auditory and visual learning styles in order to, you know, close gaps and to reinforce. As always, guys, Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are not already subscribed. Share this video with anyone who you think may enjoy it. And as always, keep homeschooling on. Be blessed. Make it a great day. See you in the next video. Prayer works, guys.